You know, the most complaints ever, the Last Temptation of Christ.
I haven't seen it.
What's it? It's Scorsese, isn't it?
It's Martin Scorsese, and I've bought the film actually recently because I was intrigued to see it, but I've not actually watched it. But from what I understand, the reason that it was so outrageous is because it has a whole sequence which shows what it would be like if Jesus had lived his life and not martyred himself on the cross, but lived his life as a human being. Part of which is him having sex. And so I think that was chiefly what the outrage was, that it was showing this godly man to be, you know, as human as he was supposedly.
Sex on films and all that, right? When I was growing up, and I'd be watching... No, just saying an example of this, really, right? When I was growing up as a kid and I'd be, you know, watching films with my dad, right? He'd really be enjoying a film, right? And then a sex scene would happen.
Right.
And he'd go...
On film? Or just behind you?
In the film, a sex scene would happen.
Your brother up to his old tricks again.
And he'd get up and go make a cup of tea, right?
Right.
Typhoon? That he'd stolen from some sort of telephone box?
And, like, even recently, he thinks it ruins a film. Do you know what I mean? Because there's no need for it to happen, is there, really?
Yes.
Why?
Sometimes it's warranted. If the film itself is
some films it isn't, though. Some films it isn't.
Of course, some films it's arbitrary.
I think the films that him and his dad watched together on Channel 5... probably not. Is it only on Channel 5 in your house?
So let's put it, if you're watching, you know, I don't know, a late night, Friday night, you know...
From 1983.
Yeah. Illegal Briefs. A beautiful lawyer has to defend a man who may be a killer. She falls in love with him, but does she know the real man?
Do you know what I mean? Sometimes you don't need to go that far. Say, like in this Jesus programme, right?
Film.
What's it called?
The Last Temptation of Christ.
Just talking. You know what? What's his name? Is it Ralph in The Simpsons?
Yes.
I drawed a kitty cat. It's like talking to that.
Yeah.
No, but right, this temptation thing, right? What got the complaints?
The complaint was the very suggestion.
It was a blasphemous thing, not the fact that you saw an actor's knob.
So what about if they just cut it down a bit and you like saw the little stable door closing?
It wasn't the baby Jesus having sex. It was the grown man.
The stable door shutting.
No, but do you know what
the
they do?
nativity scene.
That is brilliant.
The wise men saying, "I can't believe we brought myrrh. We should have brought condoms."
No, yeah. There's 2 for 1 offering, Boots.
Yeah, I don't know what we were thinking. With frankincense.
It's just that it's always awful.
Should we apologise now to the Christian church as well?
So
sorry, the little Chinese fellas, little Welsh fellas, and the little Christian fellas.
We haven't said anything wrong.
No.
It's like, you see, when I was growing up...
Stable door. I love the idea that in Karl's world, he was born in a stable, just thought, well, I love this place. Yeah. I'm just going to stay here the rest of my days.
This is good here. Oh, brilliant.
But when I was watching telly with my mum and dad, I mean, it still happens now, right? My dad will sort of go, ruined. Good film ruined. Right, if some sex scene happens.
But why doesn't he
But what are we talking about sex scene? Are we talking about kissing or are we talking about penetration and looking at the camera? Going, are you enjoying this, Pilkingtons? What are we talking about? What is sort of extreme levels are we talking about?
Right, last time I was down there, right?
Yeah.
What was it? Meet Joe Black.
Meet Joe Black.
Meet Joe Black is a terrible film. Yeah.
Right. It's a good film. And then, you know it's going to happen, because, like, the music comes in. Brad Pitt's keeping quiet. A woman's eyeing him up.
Sure.
So my mum...
I love
that! My mum's worked it out already, and she's going, anything on the other side, love?
She knows.
She knows it's, you know, something's,
so you could be enjoying a film, and you can be an hour and 10 in, and then some spidey senses of one of them can go, should we turn it over? And the other one goes, yeah, all right.
Are you sure it's not them protecting you from scenes of sex? So that what they're thinking is, what if Karl gets the idea to have sex?
Yeah.
That could lead to procreation. We don't want any more like him. We've got to end the line here.
You sure it's not the doctor? Keep calling out, going, you are keeping away from women, aren't you?
He must never find out.
Are you sure they're not embarrassed because they're watching a sex scene with their son?
It happens every time, right? There's 2 things that my mum does, right? It's that, if there's sex scene on the telly, she'll go, you know, anything on the other side, love? And the other thing she always says, if ever there's anything on the telly with Elvis in it, she goes, oh, I like him, right? And we all know, we sat there, we know what she's going to say next. Yeah. So you don't even bother saying why, right? And she goes, he likes fat, ugly people.
He what?
He liked fat, ugly people. He didn't always go for, like, the good-looking fans in the crowd.
What Elvis did?
Yeah.
Right.
That was always the thing. And
I'm sorry, no, hold on. I don't know what we're doing now with our lives, Steve. Right, wait a minute, right. So, your mum says two things, right? She either says...
Is there anything else on the other side?
Or, I like Elvis. There's a pause, because you know what she's going to say next. She says, he liked fat, ugly people. How often does this occur?
Well, because they've got, like, you know, Sky, there's a lot of those channels on. They're like the music channels. So Elvis always comes on. There's either an Elvis film, there's, like, you know, a classic hit by him on...
And she'll go, I like Elvis, he likes fat, ugly people. And what do you mean he liked fat, ugly people?
Is she a fat, ugly person?
Because there's that special Vegas show, isn't he, where he's dancing about, right, and he's got loads of scarves around his neck.
Towels.
Yeah. And, like, he always hands them down to the fat, ugly ones. Right. And I always say it's because they're the fat, you know, they've got a sweaty face because they can't, you know what I mean?
I don't know what world they live in.
I don't know how we've got onto this subject.
What sort of world are you got when you're watching his face? And what do you mean fat, ugly ones? You mean they're in the front, they're sweating a lot because they're a bit chubby?
So she thinks, you know, is giving them a towel because
but
it's like...
he's really going, wipe your face, you're putting me off, you fat cow. Stop sweating near me.
There's another one.
And what the
I just don't know how we got onto Elvis and big fat ugly women. I don't know I don't know how we sidestepped from the Last Temptation of Christ.
Did you see that fat Girls and Feeders
Go
programme?
on a minute.
Eh?
What's Tom Petty first?
Oh, brilliant! It's a great song. Breakdown.
How many
Tom
other
Petty.
radio shows have talked about Last Temptation of Christ, Chinatown,
Yeah.
fat ugly women?
More than 60 minutes.
Exactly. Incredible. Sony Award winner.